Hey Sunshine, and welcome to the Dewless Bloom podcast, where we uncover and discover who we are through creating space to reconnect with ourselves. I'm your guide Bria, an involvement and life coach for moms. The key to you living as your authentic self is to evolve and witness. Now is the time to have courage and embrace change. Your relationship with yourself is the only true constant. Observing yourself throughout seasons of your life will allow you to always be in alignment with the desires of your heart. Before we get started, I have to remind you of your influence because you are an inspiration.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's Bria, it's me again, and as promised, we're talking about the mind today. Yesterday we talked all about the three core parts to your essence: the mind, the body, and the soul. And yesterday we talked about the soul and the body and the spiritual experience of being in your body and how that's tapping into your power and to your authenticity. And so if you missed that episode, check it out after you finish listening to this one. But today we're going to talk about the mind. And the mind is a double-edged sword, in my opinion, okay? I love my mind. It comes up with beautiful ideas and I'm here being me, right? But other times when I'm not feeling so beautiful, sometimes my mind just be moving too fast. And I struggle with anxiety. I wouldn't even say it's a struggle. Me and my anxiety have a relationship, and like I talk to her because I'd be like, girl, can I take a break? And she'd be like, nah, I ain't done. And I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, okay. I'm gonna let you talk it out and I'm gonna try to woo-saw. That's all I can do. But what I realized in my experience with trying to manage my stress and manage my anxiety is I've learned that I'm overstimulated. I am overstimulated, and I'd like to say that you might be as well. Like, one, I don't know if I shared this, but I am taking a long break from Instagram. I'm not gonna even touch it for the rest of this year while I'm doing Project 365, and I'm just gonna see what not having that means for me. Because when your brain is overstimulated, your mind moves too fast, and it's just it's system overload. And I get sensory overload, so if anything's too loud or too bright, and I understand how to decompress from my sensory overload, but it was just like stimulus overload. Like the media, the news, these are things that I don't even touch it, okay? I don't even try. I get all my news from the people who be talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But I want to share this with you because it's like we have a choice over what we consume and what we allow to be processed in our mind. So if you know something is going to get you overwhelmed or spin you around like a tornado, literally, that's how fast my mind be going. And it's like, why be a tornado when you could be a gentle, cool, calming breeze? We talked about preferences, man. We talked about preferences, y'all. And it's a simple choice of being like, if this isn't working for me, if this isn't sitting with me well, if this isn't resonating, if this isn't what I want anymore, make the shift, make a change, okay? And so it's like, I decided I want to be a little, I ain't trying to be taking Dorothy to the place called Oz. I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to cause Dorothy looking outside talking about where's Toto. I don't want to be the reason. I want to be a cool breeze on a summer day. You know? Ooh, a cool breeze during a hike. Ooh. Now that relates for me really, really well. Because you probably won't catch me on no beach. But during a hike, a cool breeze when you sweating. My ear's ringing right now. I'm doing something good. My ancestors are trying to send me a message right now, so I'm gonna sit with this for a second. I feel like they said they were proud of me. My ear used to ring very often, and that's a story for another day. We don't have to talk about that. Do y'all want to know? I'll share the story. But basically, when I first started my business, my ear would ring all the time, and it was, I don't remember what side it was, but I just heard my ancestors say, girl, you doing it, we proud, keep doing this, you know. So that's a little gem. If you're interested in like spirituality and ancestral stuff that I'm all about, let me know in the comments and we could chat about it, okay? I can make it happen. I can make it happen for you. So again, to go back to what we're talking about, I don't really remember because my ear was doing this thing, and I appreciate the message. I'm not upset about an interruption, but when it comes to like de-stimulating yourself, it's simply asking yourself, what's overwhelming me right now? And I always close my eyes and ask myself questions, because I'm listening to what comes up in my body, what comes up in my mind, what comes up literally in my body and my soul. So when you see me doing that, that's because I'm literally talking to my body right now. What's overwhelming? I'm sitting here thinking about this ring light that I use, and I'm not going to show y'all because I'm not trying to blind y'all, but I have an orangey filter around it now, and I used to have the white light, and that shit was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming, and I was like, why am I subjecting myself to the overwhelm? It's not for me. Again, it goes back to, why am I making myself uncomfortable when I can choose a more comfortable way to do what I'm doing? And I think that's different than like being in your comfort zone. This is literally creating an environment where you want to be where you are, for you to do the things that you need to do. And so it's like, what's overwhelming? Y'all, I have my phone on do not disturb. I hate the sound of notifications, even other people's notifications. I'd be like, this is really that urgent? And some people would say yes, but I would beg to say no. When you look at your phone, you'll see the notifications. What's the point of being pulled away from something that you're presently involved in? Whether that be having a moment with your kid, or watching a movie, or reading a book. Like, I don't want to be interrupted. That's overwhelming to me. It's just like, I want to be present in what I'm doing, and when I'm ready to look and check on my phone, I will. And best believe I listen to my body, because listen, my phone be on silent, y'all. Funny story, I was at work a few days ago, and my phone be on silent. And my coworker, it's the two of us running this kitchen basically, and she works at a different site, and I rarely, like, she already knows I don't have my phone on, it'd be on silent, so sometimes she has to call the center to be like, hey, can you tell Bria to answer her phone? But there have been a number of times where she's called me, and I was just like, oh yeah, I guess I was waiting for your call. I was like, I don't know why I was looking at the phone. And so it's like, I intentionally, like, my body, listen, this is a very spiritual thing too, to be like, I was there. And so like, I trust myself to be like, if something is really urgent, if something really needs to be addressed, that it will be in that moment. I don't need to be open to everything. Like I shared in the 22 things that I learned this year, like, being open to everything is being open to the chaos of everything. And I don't want to be overstimulated. I want to be selective in the things that I want to have access to me. And people who have my phone number, even Instagram, like, yes, they have access to me, but the office is closed right now. I don't have office hours. Send me an email, and the email gonna send you out of office. We'll respond when we're back. Like, what's wrong with that? Protecting your peace and protecting your bubble, you know? And it's like, you get to create a space where you feel comfortable being you. And again, I'm not talking about being in your comfort zone and not having room for growth or expansion. It's just being in an environment that is conducive for your growth and expansion. And so when we ask ourselves the question of what's overwhelming, the next question is, what's causing this overwhelm, and is it necessary? And only you can decide what's necessary for you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. That's something I will never do, but I just want you to think about it. Is it necessary? I was getting ready to plan and prepare for the next few podcasts on the for the month of January. And I was like, I'm gonna plan the whole month. Let's do this. And I started planning out a few episodes, and I was like, I'm done. I did 9 outlines. I was like, a week out is enough. That feels good. Like, I could have kept pushing myself to be like, well, I said this thing and, I'm going to do it. But it's like, at that point, it's no longer fun. And I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I did the thing that I set out to do. Maybe not in the capacity or the quantity that I wanted to, but I did it. That's enough. And so I just think about that in the sense of, too, like, I watched my mom, oh my gosh. Mom, if you're watching, like, no shade, Mom. But I watched my mom clean up and tidy the house so much. She's a Virgo. She likes to clean. I have a Virgo moon, so I understand her. That's why I was the kid who was always helping. But I was like, is this really important to do right now? And for her, the answer was yes. For her, the answer was yes, because her environment, it was hard for her to show up for herself when she had to look at stuff on the floor or dishes weren't clean. And so for her, it made sense to do those things. But for some of us, some days I'd be like, them dishes gonna stay where they at. And that's on period. They gonna stay there. They gonna stay. And it's listening to your body. It goes back to what we talked about yesterday, because things are going to change and we can't plan for every situation that is going to come. We can only listen to what is present for us right now. And that's what I think is so important when it's thinking about what's overwhelming. And it goes back to the whole thing of the preferences. What would you rather do? I would rather let them dishes sit in the sink some days and go to bed or watch my show. And that would be more supportive. It would be overwhelming to expect myself to wash the dishes every day. I'm not a maid. I'm not getting paid for this. And so when we think about creating our lives and it goes back to just listening to what feels supportive for you right now. And so, like, when you find your brain shaming or guilting you about things, it's like, okay, girl, what's going on? What do you need? Because obviously you're saying all these mean things to me because something's up. What's up? You don't want to do it? Okay, cool. We don't have to do it today. Or I shared a story in a previous podcast where I was crying doing the dishes because I made a choice that I wasn't going to do them in the morning. I was going to do them tonight. And so it's almost you're literally being a parent to yourself. And it's like, what does your child need to hear today? And I'm talking about you as the child and you as the parent as well. There's this duality. Come on, y'all. Stick with me. What do you need today? What do you need to hear today? And we're going to talk about energy, budgeting, and cycle syncing in another episode. But like today, just focusing on that simple question of like, what does your child need to hear today? What do you need to hear today? Thinking about all the things that happen and looking at today as a big picture. What do you need to hear today? I know we talked about a lot today. We talked about a lot, and thinking about destimulating yourself is being honest about what is important and what is your priority and what is your focus, right? And it's being intentional about doing the things that make you feel good instead of trying to do everything, asking for help, okay? And so I want to give you the next 3 minutes to reflect on everything we talked about today, because we talked about a lot. What would feel supportive for you in this season? What's making you feel overwhelmed, and is it necessary? And how can you create space to talk to yourself like a child? What do you need to hear today? What do you need to hear today? Okay, the next 3 minutes are for you, and I can't wait to see you here tomorrow again. And if it's your first time listening, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the YouTube channel, wherever you're watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and rate and like the video. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. You're doing great. I don't want y'all to think that I was trying to be all up in your business or whatnot, but you're doing great. If nobody told you today, you're doing great. Sometimes that's what you need to hear. Okay, love y'all. Enjoy your 3 minutes. Bye. If anything resonated with you during this episode, pass it along to a friend. Let's continue the chain reaction of inspiration. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can stay updated with all things Duelist Bloom by joining the Village community email list. The link is in the description below. I hope that today is everything you needed to be and more, and remember, you are an inspiration.